Society, we're pretty dumb at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So one thing that
it's
really
both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, both sides.
So one thing that came up that really pissed off a lot of feminists was something called the greater male variability hypothesis. You guys familiar with this? It means
Go ahead.
there are more male geniuses and more male morons.
Yeah.
Now think about what that must be like for a woman. The average guy you meet is stupider, is probably going to be stupider than you, but you're also going to run into a lot of guys who are smarter than you.
Because I'm telling you, bro, like we bring in girls with master's degrees, PhDs, etc., very educated. They don't care about none of this stuff.
That doesn't mean anything.
But I'm just saying,
It
like,
actually says the inverse.
the opposite to me.
But that's what I'm trying to explain is that, like, regardless of women's education level or her status or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that women generally aren't interested in a lot of the things that we're talking about right now.
I agree with that, and that is not to me. I think
some are, but a majority aren't.
I would assume. I would assume the average woman can name 3 countries, like Canada, United States, Mexico. Not that hard. And you guys are laughing. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're the people you're around. But that being said, I'm not saying the average woman is a super genius. You know what I mean? I'm not like they're all going to be well.
There's a lot of dumb dudes too.
I was about to say, I think
there's more dumb dudes.
As a society, we're pretty dumb at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one thing that
it's
really
both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, both sides.
So one thing that came up that really pissed off a lot of feminists was something called the greater male variability hypothesis. You guys familiar with this? It means
Go ahead.
there are more male geniuses and more male morons.
Yeah.
Now think about what that must be like for a woman. The average guy you meet is stupider, is probably going to be stupider than you, but you're also going to run into a lot of guys who are smarter than you, right? It is. So we'll put it this way. Let's say, I hate doing bell curve math in my head for two different, you've got 100 men and 100 women. This means that for women, 60% are 100 IQ, 20% are 120, 20% are 80. But for men, 40 are going to be
the 100 IQ.
100 IQ, and then 30 are going to be high and 30 are going to be low.
Yeah.
That means women are typically, on average, going to experience either a guy who's smarter or a guy who's stupider.
Yeah.
That's something guys probably don't understand, especially if they are stupid.
Men dominate when it comes to the extremes of excellence and mediocrity. Men absolutely dominate. And here's the other thing too. Funny.
No,
about
not
IQ.
mediocrity. Failure.
Yeah.
But that's
failure and success are more extreme for men.
Yeah, I mean, like there's more. For example, there's more prisoners and more inmates that are men, but then there's also more, geniuses and CEOs.
So we got to close the prison
we're on both
gap.
sides.
We got to close the prison industrial gap. Too many men are in prison.
Guess
we got to
what?
get that female
Guess
number up.
what? That starts with fathers in the home.
Agreed.
It does.
Present father. Literally, that's the start.
But then you got to ask yourself, who's destroying the families? It's feminism and women in general that destroy the
there's an
families
agenda
because they're the
being
ones
played here.
initiating the divorce. So that's kind of what's going on.
I only half agree. I think it takes two to tango.
Two to tango.
Low value guys giving women money on OnlyFans is contributing to it
And
as well.
also, let me tell you something. Like, women divorce men for a lot of different reasons, and sometimes maybe it's nefarious, but a lot of other times it's because the guys aren't shit. Like, the guys aren't pulling their weight. They're not
true.
They stop.
Agree.
They stop elevating themselves to be who she wants to be with. And so you can't just go into a marriage and think like, okay, now I'm married, it's done. Like, if you would compare me 10 years ago when I got married today to who I am now, you'd be like, damn, you're not the same person.
Which is why you need what? Experience, because if you jump into that marriage without even knowing how to be a man, you're going to lose.
Let me ask you a question.
But not if you're constantly evolving. If you're constantly evolving and getting better. And
But I don't know as a young man, I need to evolve. I know, hey, you know what? Go to school, get a job, get married. That's all I know.
Correct.
So ultimately, you need experience with women to understand this is good, this is bad.
That women
All right,
want
cool.
progression and they want to continue to grow.
Right, but that's only part of the equation, because the biggest part of the equation is knowing who is the man that you're evolving to,
But you
to become.
don't. Okay,
But the woman is
at
just
18,
a tiny part of
hold on.
that
To
equation.
be fair here, 18 years old, do you know who you want it to be?
Not. Of course not.
That's what I'm saying. So ultimately, I need to know as a man from experience, okay, this is good. This is what I want in life. This is what I don't want in life. Okay, now I'm making a conscious choice to be this man. But if I don't know, I don't know.
100%.
So I'm gonna flip it on you.
Yeah.
Men are the cause of all of the social problems, not women. Who made OnlyFans?
They enabled it. Yeah,
who,
they enabled
who made
it.
OnlyFans?
I agree. Yeah, they enabled
Tim,
it.
you're a feminist, aren't you?
Tim Stokely made OnlyFans. Tim Stokely's net worth is $120 million, according to a cursory Google search. I don't know if that's actually real. these
Holy.
These net worth things typically overestimate.
He's rich,
or are wrong. $1 million a day, apparently, or what is it? Because OnlyFans continues to pave the way for people like Bad Baby to rake in $1 million a day. People want to know who made it? Yeah, Tim Stokely is the founder of it.
Yeah.
When
Men absolutely enabled it. I agree.
and revel in it.
And now we're arguing that now we gotta what's the word that we keep using? You gotta
Repeal the 19th.
They can't vote now.
you gotta adapt to it now. So we created a mess the men made the porn, the men made the OnlyFans, the men incentivized really bad behavior that creates women who are not ideal mates. And
But
now we're saying
we can go deeper and we can say, who authorized this? Who wanted this to happen in America? Them boys.
who's them boys?
No.
Let me add. Let me tell you about. I'm gonna start as grandiose as possible.
Okay.
Alfred Nobel. You know what Alfred Nobel did?
I do not.
I believe he invented dynamite.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he
And his idea was that miners, people who are mining quarries and such,
Not the Epstein.
not the
Island
Epstein
kind?
thing,
Okay.
it was safer. You go in and you're chipping away and rocks could fall, you could die. If you plant the explosives, you can then leave, get to safety, detonate, and now it breaks the rocks up. One day, a newspaper, I believe it was a newspaper, accidentally published his obituary in which they called him the Merchant of Death. And it terrified him that that's how he'd be remembered, so he created the Nobel Peace Prize. He was like, I got to be remembered for something other than making an explosive that people are using to kill each other. I think it was like the Haymarket affair in Chicago. Someone threw dynamite or something. And like, so, there's some bad things happen. I'm looking at the history of OnlyFans. And it's just so sad. Tim Stokely got a loan from his father to start a subscription service for performers who can provide photos and clips to their fans. And 2 years later, it turned into the biggest premier prostitution platform in the world. I shouldn't say 2 years later it did. It was bought by a guy who owned My Free Cams. He acquired 75%, and OnlyFans has then turned into the the preeminent hub of prostitution for the world.
Yeah. No,
Now, I don't think this guy was intending to do that, and he's very rich. So my point is not that Tim Stokely was like, I'm going to create this, deviant debauchery. He had good intentions.
Yeah.
A musician could be like, hey guys, I know you're fans of the show. We got bonus member content. You can find it. And then a bunch of prostitutes were like, we're going to sell sex to guys for money. And that's what the platform is now. They say it's mainly used for pornographic creators. I don't think that's correct. I think there's a difference there's an overlap between porn and prostitution. When women provide menus for men, and they're doing it on Twitch, one woman got banned as a big story because she flashed her OnlyFans menu on Twitch so that guys could buy sex services. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Porn is, they make a video, they post it. They take pictures, they post it. Prostitution is, you hire someone to engage in a sex act for you, and that's what OnlyFans is. I get it. It's digital and online. And there's no touching when people don't see each other. But these women are still being paid money for a sex act so that someone else can personally experience it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But my point,
That's a good breakdown, Tim.
this guy, I wonder what his obituary is going to say. It's going to be, 50 years or whatever, and they're going to be like the guy who completely destroyed
Revolutionized thoughtism.
And,
thoughtism.
and
That's
his,
one way
and
to
his
put it.
justification would probably be similar to the things that we're talking about in this podcast.
I don't, bro.
in that,
look,
it's what society is. I gave it just was what it was.
I got to tell you, I think that's something someone tells themselves so they can sleep at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have to imagine that there's, Citizen Kane, what was it, Rosebud or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
He's like lying on his deathbed and then he like dropped the snow, or whatever, the rose or whatever. And then they're like, what was it? And it was like, he just wanted to sled. He just wanted to go back. I got to believe there's so many people who start off with good intentions and then built the Death Star. You know what I mean? Like this guy built the Death Star.
Oppenheimer.
Werner von Braun, the famous quote, the V2 rocket performed perfectly, just landed on the wrong planet. What a sad, sad story. You know this guy's story?
I don't.
He dreamed of traveling space. He wanted to build rockets to go into outer space. And Hitler was just like, yeah, we can kill people with that. And so that's what he turned into.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal.
Bro, it's like so much, like the path to hell is paved with good intentions.